Good afternoon, Facebook Live. This is Robin Kirby-Gatto. Welcome to Cooking Keto with Kirby-Gatto. Today we are going to do Fathead Pizza. Oh my goodness. You get buckled up and get ready. Get you a notepad ready to take instructions and write this awesome recipe down. We are going to get cooking fast because I do not know how much battery life I have left on this particular iPad. So we are going to get just cooking right now. Thank you for joining in. I'm going to turn on the oven, stovetop. I'm going to turn the stovetop on because while we are cooking our crust, we're going to be cooking some mushrooms. I'm going to be making fathead pizza with mushrooms, bacon, pepperoni, blue cheese sauce, yum yum, a side of tomatoes, and we're going to have enough. I'm making a little extra, but if you do it right, this will be 10 carbs, and you will absolutely enjoy it. So go ahead, preheat your oven to 420. I've got my oven to 420. It's already warmed up. And then go ahead and turn your stovetop on if you're doing mushrooms, because this is one of the toppings I'm going to put on my pizza. Since I'm going to be using this particular pan twice, I'm going to go ahead and cook my mushrooms in it now, and then I'm going to saute some tomatoes later to do as a side. So go ahead and get some of your fat, your olive oil, and put probably about 1 tablespoon of olive oil in there for your mushrooms. I've got mushrooms right here that I get from the farmer's market, and I'm just going to put that in that right now. And for me, I particularly like garlic salt, so I'm going to put in a little bit of garlic salt into these mushrooms. And we're going to let this get to a sauteing level and let those mushrooms saute. Now, I know you think, oh my goodness, she's going super fast, but I'm trying to beat the clock to make sure I get this entire episode of Cooking Keto with Kirby-Gatto on a fathead pizza recipe over with before my battery dies down. So once you start sauteing your mushrooms, just to let you know the ingredients, I've got some bacon bits. I've already cooked bacon and I've crumbled it. And so these bacon bits, along with pepperoni, will actually be my toppings with the mushrooms. So I have those ready to go. I also have tomatoes. For me, I love doing just a little hint of tomatoes on the side because we're doing a blue cheese sauce recipe, but I love to have just a little bit of tomatoes in order just to have that little sauce with it of tomato, which feels like tomato sauce as well. And then the other ingredients I have are going to be mozzarella. And what you want to do is get 1 cup of mozzarella. And now remember, I'm making a little extra because I'm going to make some to save and also for Matthew to taste test. So you're going to do 1 cup of mozzarella. And now remember, this is for one person. 1 cup of mozzarella, a half an ounce of cream cheese. And then for me, I particularly love my herb garden, which the Britons say herbs garden. So these are my herbs, and I've got basil and oregano that I actually just picked off my herbs. And then I have blue cheese, and this blue cheese is crumbled blue cheese. I love this particular rice bowl because if you can see through it, you can actually see through this rice bowl. We actually inherited this from Rich's mother. I love these little rice bowls. And then we have the last ingredient, 2 more, is almond flour. You're going to do 1/4 cup of almond flour. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream with our blue cheese, which we'll get to in a minute. So right now, the oven's already heated up to 420. We got the mushrooms going. And then we're fixing to start the actual crust. You're going to hopefully, if my battery life lasts long enough and I cook fast enough, hopefully you will see the finished product. So you're going to go ahead and put your mozzarella and your cream cheese together. You're going to put it in a microwavable glass bowl, and you're going to put it in the microwave for 40 seconds. And you all will super love this recipe today. It is absolutely yummy. I've got mushroom sauteing because I particularly love mushrooms. We get mushrooms from the farmer's market every week. And so I'm going to have mushrooms on my pizza. And so I've got that sauteing so we can go ahead and get those golden brown. And then we're going to remove them, take them out of the skillet. And then I'm going to transfer my tomatoes in there to start getting a yummy tomato-based, almost like a sauce/pesto is what I like to look at it as. Now there's the timer, the buzzer. And right now the consistency, just to show you how you got to kind of play with this, the consistency of it, I don't think it's melted good enough. So that usually happens, but I don't want to overcook it. So I put it in only for 40 seconds at first. And actually, it is starting to come together. So I think this will be enough. So always put it in no more than 40 seconds. And then see how it stirs and how it forms together. And if it looks like it's stirring well, then don't put it in again. That's good enough. But if it doesn't look like the consistency is good enough that you can mix it together, then you probably want to put it in maybe another 15 seconds. But do not do more than 15-second increments. Otherwise, you will burn your cheese. And this is a fathead crust pizza. And I will get into some more discussion in a minute. I just want to hurry up and get this in the oven before this battery life goes out in this camera. And I'm already off the air. You don't see this pizza, so I'm trying to rush the battery life on this particular iPad. So you're going to put into your pizza bowl, which my hands are really dirty now, you're going to put into your pizza crust this almond flour, a 1/4 cup of almond flour. And then you're going to want to mix it. Now I'm going to actually mix it with my hands, and I know you can't see my hands right now, but I'm going to bring this up in a minute. Our kitchen's very small. It's a galley kitchen. We live in a 1928 apartment building, which I absolutely love. We live in the historic district in Birmingham, Alabama. And so we have a very tiny kitchen from the 1920s. Now, here is my pizza ball. It is cheese, cream cheese, and almond flour. I know a lot of people add egg. I've already tried that. I particularly don't like that particular recipe. This is the recipe that works for me, but you do whatever works for you. So now I've got parchment paper, and you're always going to use parchment paper with this fathead pizza. So I'm going to start making my pizza crust to go into my pizza pan. Now I know you can't see me making it, but I will show you how it looks when it's all laid out. For me, I can also get another parchment paper and put it on top of this one and use a rolling pin, which thank you Margaret Holt. Margaret Holt gave me. But this is so easy that I actually particularly like doing it with my fingers because it's so easy to manipulate and mold. So I like my pizza crust a little thin. I'm going to spread it out. And I've gauged it good enough to where I can get it to fit in my little dance pan from the 1960s. And then we're going to put it in the oven because I need to get this crust going in order to beat the clock. And so you all can see this yummy recipe. So here is my dance pan. I know it's got a lot of seasoning on it. And here is my pizza crust that I put on the parchment paper. And now we're going to put it in the oven because this thing needs to get cooking. I'm going to put it in the oven and I'm going to wash my hands. And then I get to talk to you as we do some more cooking. You're going to put your pizza crust in, and you're going to put it initially on about 12 to 13 minutes because you want your pizza crust very brown. So let's do the timer, and let's start out with 12 minutes, and let's just see how that goes. Let me wash my hands, and I'll come right back. Okay, now I'm back, and now we can do the other prep work that we need done for this pizza. Again, I've got mushrooms, and mushrooms are going to be my topping, along with bacon that's already cooked, pepperoni, and my sauce is going to be a blue cheese sauce. So while the pizza is in the oven, I'll turn that down just a hint, I'm going to now prep for my blue cheese sauce. Now, if you have never had a blue cheese sauce pizza, oh my goodness, you are going to think that you have gone to heaven when you try this blue cheese sauce pizza. It was so funny because I had never tasted blue cheese, and by the way, that is about a half a cup of blue cheese. The good thing about this blue cheese is it's 0 carbs. And so a half a cup of blue cheese. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Thank you, Anna. 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. I'm used to this. I already got measured out. And so I have my blue cheese sauce and my heavy whipping cream. And that heavy whipping cream is going to help melt your blue cheese sauce, because what you're going to do is once you get your pizza out after the first 12 minutes. Now again, if it's not brown enough, keep it in another minute and let it get really brown, because if you want that kind of crust that you feel like you can cut it and you can pick it up with your hand and it has that crunch just like a pizza crust, you want it really brown. That has been my experience. So we're going to let it stay in 12 minutes. The pizza crust that I just put in, I'm going to check it, see if it's brown enough. But I'm also prepping my blue cheese sauce in order for it to be ready to put on top of the pizza when it comes out. Let me go ahead and take my mushrooms out, and now I'm going to transfer my tomatoes that I'm going to saute and kind of make a little pesto to go on the side. Hold on one second. So here are my mushrooms, and I love using the same pan, especially where I have olive oil in it, because it has that sauce from what I used before. It has that taste of mushrooms, and I really, really like that. And so you're going to put a little bit more olive oil in here, about another tablespoon of olive oil, and you're going to want to get your diced tomatoes. I took a small tomato, and I only am using 2/3 of a very small tomato, and I'm putting it in here. Get it to a sizzle, and here are the herbs from my garden. So I've got basil and I've got oregano, and I'm going to put these 2 particular seasonings along with garlic salt on top of my tomatoes. It is so funny because I love Italian food. When I was 12 years old, I was so into Italian food. I wanted to marry an Italian man, and sure enough, I did. Now, right now, I'm taking my oregano, and I'm pulling it apart, and I'm also getting my basil, and I'm pulling my basil apart, and I'm just going to start sprinkling it on top of these tomatoes. And I'm just going to put it all through there. I'm going to put a little aside, and I'm going to save some of it for my blue cheese as well. So save some of it for your blue cheese sauce. I've got basil and oregano. Yum! Oh my goodness, this smells so yummy. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So there is my olive oil, my tomatoes, my garlic salt, my herbs, oregano and basil. And I'm just going to let that saute on a low temperature. And we're probably going to do it at about 3, and we're going to let it saute a little bit. Now, right now, I've got the blue cheese sauce. I don't know if you can see it here. I've actually got it on 4. With blue cheese sauce, it's very temperamental. When you're doing blue cheese sauce for the pizza, you have to watch over it because it's so super temperamental, and it will go ahead and it will start bubbling really fast if you don't watch it. Sometimes I'll put it on 3, but sometimes I put it on 4. But for this show, I'm putting on 4 so you can see this pizza before time goes out on this battery. So I've already put 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream in. Now I'm going to use the rest of the herbs to put into my blue cheese sauce. Again, I have basil and I also have oregano. So I'm just going to get these and I'm going to start pulling them apart. And look, already my blue cheese sauce is starting to bubble. But you want that because you have to let your blue cheese sauce rest. You have to let it rest because that pizza is going to be so hot that if you don't let your blue cheese sauce rest, it will end up running all over the pizza and all the blue cheese sauce will run off your pizza. You do not want that. So you have to do your blue cheese sauce ahead of time in order to let your blue cheese sauce rest, and you really, really need to let your pizza crust rest at least about 10 minutes once it's out of the oven. But because of time's sake, I'm not going to do that rest period. Normally you would, but today I'm not, in order that you can see this pizza fully cooked, right? So here's the blue cheese sauce, and look at that. The blue cheese sauce is done. It is done right there. Look, I must be like Emerald. Bam! There it is. It's done. Bam! So that's your blue cheese sauce. Cut it off, and then you will just check on your tomatoes. Again, you don't have to do tomatoes as a side. You can have tomatoes as a side, but I like to do them because it's just so super yummy. And also, for my toppings, I'm getting them all over here. I've got mushrooms I've already cooked. I've got bacon, and I've got pepperoni. So all of those are ready, and I'm going to get ready in a minute. Once this a tomato is missing, it jumped out. I got to put it in there. There it goes. So now I'm going to get that oven mitt ready over there in order for me to show you how it looks when you pour this blue cheese sauce on. It's very yummy. So let me talk to you about a couple of things because we've got 5 more minutes before I look in the oven. But what is so funny is what I was going to say about blue cheese is I never tasted blue cheese until I met Rich, my husband, whom I call my Italian man. Rich and I got married in 2001, and for those of y'all who do not know our story, we met on an internet dating website, talked on the phone for 2 weeks after we met, and planned our wedding 4 months later. And 4 months later, he lived up in Connecticut, worked in New York, I lived in Alabama, and we didn't even see each other physically. And we just fell in love with each other's soul. It was just absolutely a God thing. And before I knew it, 4 months later, I was married to my Italian man in 2001. So we got married in December 2001. I had never had blue cheese. Never had blue cheese. And so when I met Rich, he introduced me to blue cheese. So I have been making up for all the blue cheese that I have missed my entire life. And every time I get an opportunity, blue cheese is going to find its way into a dish. I love blue cheese. Blue cheese is awesome. The sauce that I just made is also an awesome sauce if you make a hamburger patty and you want to put blue cheese sauce on it. It is absolutely yummy. And by the way, if you do some steamed cabbage with it, sauteed cabbage, either one of those, and you put it with your hamburger patty as a side for your hamburger patty, blue cheese, when it creeps from your hamburger patty onto your cabbage, is even more yummy. I love blue cheese. So we got 3 more minutes. I still have my tomatoes sauteing, have my blue cheese sauce finished, and it's resting in order to get ready to put on top of the pizza. And again, I have to be very careful when this pizza comes out of the oven because it's going to be temperamental. The pizza crust is going to be super hot. And when I put this blue cheese sauce on it, the blue cheese sauce is going to want to run and just get all over the place. But hopefully I formed my pizza crust exactly right to where today I can get away with it. Normally, do not do this. Do not do this. Normally, you would let your pizza crust rest at least 10 minutes. Let it cool and make sure your blue cheese sauce is cool enough. Now let's look. We've got 2 more minutes and then we're going to pull this pizza crust out. Let me check on it. Oh yeah, it's doing good. Oh my goodness. If you have never had Fathead pizza, and again, I've had cauliflower pizza. We used to do cauliflower pizza all the time until I was introduced to Fathead pizza. And then with Fathead pizza, people normally put eggs in them. And for me, I just found that I didn't really like eggs in my pizza crust. I love it just with the cream cheese, the cheese, and the almond flour. For me, it's a perfect consistency for me. So it looks like it's going to be super yummy. Now after this comes out, you're going to normally let it cool 10 minutes, then put your sauce on. But again, we're going to not do that cooling period today. Then after it cools, you're putting all your toppings on. First you put your sauce on, which we'll do. And then after you put your sauce on, then you will put your toppings on. You will not put your tomatoes on because your tomatoes are a side. So you'll put your toppings on. So let's look. It's almost time for the countdown. We're getting closer. And then after I put my toppings on, I'll put it back in the oven. Then I will let you ask some questions, right? So here we go. It's almost 1 more minute, and I might actually pull it out just a little bit ahead of time because the crust is working very perfect and cooking at just the right pace. Here we go. Countdown. 49 seconds. We're almost here. It's going to be a yummy, yummy pizza. Get ready. I know some of you wish you could come through the camera and into my kitchen and join this Italian feast, but you will have to make it at home and hopefully enjoy it just as much. Now we have 26 seconds, almost time to pull it out, and then we get to see this yummy pizza crust, right? And I hope yours turns out as good as mine. And also, if you want to, what I do sometimes is I add garlic seasoning into my pizza crust. You can always add seasoning and herbs into your pizza crust. So that's always a good thing to do as well. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. It's time to get your pizza crust out. So let me grab a mitt, and we're going to get this pizza crust out. And I'll show you how it looks like before we get ready to put blue cheese sauce on it. Here is the pizza crust. Does that not look yummy? Do you not want to just take that and put it in your mouth? It looks so yummy. And so there's a pizza crust. Normally, I would let the whole top, for me, this is my personal preference. For me, normally, I would let the whole top get that entire brown color. But for the show, and because I want you to be able to see this recipe, I'm going to go ahead and take it out probably just about 30 seconds to a minute earlier. If it were me, I would probably leave it in maybe another 30 seconds, another minute. So you can do that as well. But again, I am fighting battery life on my iPad, and I don't know if my battery's going to go down and you're not going to see this show. So for time's sake, I'm taking it out a little early. Now let me do it a little over here so you can see what's going on over here. And I'm taking my fork and I'm pressing down to where that bubble is, and the bubble is going down. Now I still have my parchment paper, and you're going to keep this parchment paper the entire time that you're cooking this pizza, because otherwise it will be an absolute mess if you do not use parchment paper. So I've got this somewhat good enough to where it's down and it's flat. So now I'm going to add my blue cheese sauce on top of it. Now I know that you all wish you were here today, that you could enjoy this blue cheese sauce that I just made. You can make it just as well as me, and you can have the great success that I do. For me, I particularly like Treasure Chest blue cheese. For me, I like the Treasure brand. I really love a particular blue cheese bite because there's different types of blue cheese. So for me, this is the one that I particularly like. I'm going to go ahead and turn my tomatoes on low as well. So here is the blue cheese sauce, and I'm putting it on top of this pizza, and I'm going to spread it out. Now, it might not look like enough, but believe you me, it ends up being more than enough. And I'm going to spread this sauce out, and again, because the pizza crust is so hot, it's really spreading all over the place, but I did just the right amount that I could get away with it. Now you're going to want to get a particular spatula or whatever, a spoon that you can spoon this out, because you're going to want to get every drop of blue cheese sauce that you can. So you're going to spread it out, and once you get it spread out on your pizza, I'm trying to be careful so it doesn't fall all over the place. Once you spread it out, I'm trying to get every little drop of sauce. I mean, this stuff is gold. So I'm trying to get every bit of sauce. I'm putting it all on there. And now I've got my pizza sauce, which is a blue cheese sauce. I'm getting every bit of sauce. I still see some more in here. Every little bit of blue cheese sauce I see, it is getting on top of this pizza. I just have to taste this. Oh my goodness! I love blue cheese! Oh my goodness, I love blue cheese. Thank you, God, for making blue cheese. So, here, let me hold up my pan so you can kind of see my pizza sauce. There is the blue cheese sauce. You can't really see it as well. All over the pizza crust, and it's spread out. Now you're going to want to put your toppings on. Again, my tomatoes are a side item. They are not a topping. When you put blue cheese sauce on, they are a side because you're going to want to cook it without the tomatoes. And then when the pizza comes out, then you're going to want to put the tomatoes as a side. So I have pepperoni. I'm going to put my pepperoni on there. Pepperoni, yum! When Rich and I go on trips where I go treaching, what's treaching? Teaching and preaching. Preaching the word. When we go on trips and I'm preaching, we load up for us. I know different keto people do different things. You have people that are super, super strict keto. They're the Navy SEALs of keto. I've done that. I want to enjoy life. I want me some salami. I want me some pepperoni and cheese. And so I do pepperoni and cheese, and so when we go on trips, ministry trips, like we'll be going to Ohio next week, and so I will get me some pepperoni and cheese, and we'll put that in the car, and that will be a great snack to tie us over. Now here's my bacon, and I'm going to do my bacon and sprinkle it out all over the place. Here's the bacon, sprinkling it out all over. Have my yummy blue cheese sauce on it. So there's the bacon topping. And then I'm going to get my mushrooms. That's the last topping. So here's my mushrooms, and I'm just going to sprinkle them all over. And then after I do my mushrooms, I'm trying to get them all over the pizza. And we want this olive oil in here that we cook the mushrooms in. So just drizzle whatever olive oil you have in there. Just drizzle it on the pizza. And then, let me wash my hands. Then you're going to want to get Parmesan, and you're going to want to sprinkle it on top before you put it in the oven. So here is Parmesan that I'm sprinkling all over the pizza. And now we are about to throw this thing in the oven. It is already ready. So now this time around, I'm going to cook it, for me, I'm going to cook it another 12 minutes for me. You can cook it however long you want to cook it, but for me, I like the crust really crunchy. So I'm going to cook it at least another 12 minutes. So here we go. So while that is cooking, let me answer some questions, right? And just to let you know, there are some people that do dairy-free keto. I've done that. I did that for 2 weeks. I just enjoy cheese so much. I enjoy milk so much that for me, I just want to live a lifestyle on keto where I can have cheese, where I can have heavy whipping cream, where I can have cream cheese. That's for me. And so you have that people group. You have people that ban tomatoes and all that. Tomatoes are fine. Just do not go crazy with it. Use it as a side dish. You can also use it in a sauce. But be sparing. When I do tomato sauce for Parmesan chicken, when I do it for our Thai dishes, I don't use a whole lot of tomato sauce. It's enough for 3 people with just a couple of tomatoes, and it goes a very long way. And if you're using fresh tomatoes, if you're using that and you're doing it right, then it is not going to be an issue at all. I've seen people that say, okay, tomatoes are going to stall you in keto and other things are going to stall you in keto. If you go into the keto world, that's a universe. If you go into the keto universe and you go into it as a diet, then you're going to totally get the wrong perspective. You are into it for just losing the weight. That is not why you go into keto. You go into keto for a lifestyle change. For me, I had issues all over my body. I was to the point in 2016 when I discovered keto. I was to the point that I was miserable being alive. I was absolutely in pain and torment all day long in my body. And I did not know about keto. It was God that told me keto. No man, no woman told me about keto. God told me the name of this diet. He said I need to get on it. And keto totally healed me of all my dis-ease. So you have to look at keto as a lifestyle. Now, do you lose weight? Yes, you lose weight. But for you women that are in that area where you're perimenopause and menopause and your estrogen levels are crazy, you're actually going to gain weight even before you actually lose weight. And that is because the fat heals you. You cannot look at this as a diet to lose weight. Does it do that? Yes, it does. But the most important thing is that your body gets healed. And so you have to go through that process. And FYI, for those that are looking to get rid of estrogen levels and want to bring them down, I actually use a product called DIM, D-I-M, and that has worked really well with me. Now, let me see who has questions. Who has questions? Oh, yes. Any tips on getting the crust crispy? Yes, Crystal. As I mentioned earlier, for crispy crust, you want to cook your pre-cooked pizza. When you put the pizza crust in the very first time, you're going to want that pizza crust to cook to where the entire top of the pizza is all brown, that dark brown color. If you cook the pizza that dark brown color, to some people it almost looks burnt. It is not burnt. It looks like it's burnt, but it's not burnt because inside of that crust is that really good cheese and it's not burnt. But if you want to be able to slice it just like you do a pizza crust, you want that first cook to be at least 12 to 13 minutes on 420. And that's really going to help you get that crust to where it's really crunchy. When I make it, I cut it and I hold it with my hand just like I would a pizza. And it's straight and it doesn't flop around. It is totally straight because I've cooked that pizza crust. Also, your second time around when you cook the pizza crust, you're going to want to cook it long again. So you can always kind of test it and see what works for you. You know your oven and what your oven does. Everybody's oven is a little different. For me, I find it best to set my oven on 420 to have a little bit more control over watching it. And so I like to cook it super long. Now, when I take this pizza out, what I'm really looking for is for that pizza crust to be dark brown. If it's not dark brown, I'm probably going to put it in again just to make sure that I get that dark brown because that's what's going to make it crispy, right? Are there any other people that have questions? Let me see if there are any other questions out there. Candy, I'm cooking Fathead pizza. Oh my goodness, you will love it. Oh yeah, I love butter. Yes, gotta have me some butter, Crystal. So, yeah, Gary, we do not deliver yet, but maybe we will in Ohio. Maybe Rich and I will teach you how to make this pizza in Ohio. Oh my goodness, it's super, super awesome. Yes. Oh, you're welcome, Crystal. Now let's see, we have 6 minutes left. I'm going to peek in and see where the pizza crust is and kind of gauge it from there. So let me look in and look at this pizza crust. Oh yeah, this pizza crust is doing perfect. I already see it starting to get brown around the edges because remember, on the first cook, it kind of got browner on the middle part and we saw that bubble come up. Then I took a fork and poked it and the bubble went down. Put my blue cheese sauce. Now, I want to see your pictures if you do this blue cheese sauce pizza, and I want to hear what you have to say. I want your comments after you eat it because I am telling you, when you eat this pizza, it is over with. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely amazing. Oh, my battery life is getting low. Oh my goodness. Oh God, please let this battery life last until my pizza comes out. If this cuts off, I apologize, but oh, I am hoping and I'm praying that the clock does not get rushed to where this battery life goes down before this pizza is finished. Please hold this, God. We got 5 more minutes, so let's see if we can beat the clock. 5 more minutes. Let me go ahead and I don't know how much battery life I have, but it already showed me that I don't have much battery life left. So hopefully I can get by with now, it looks like almost 4 minutes. Come on, 4. 4, come on. And now I've got my tomatoes off. My tomatoes have sauteed the way that I like them to saute. Again, I got some olive oil, garlic, oregano, and basil that I put in there. And now it's down to 4 minutes. Hopefully I will get a picture of this out before the battery life goes down. Let me just peek in one more time. I'll just take it out just to show you how it's cooking, and I'll put it back in just in case. Now, this is how it looks like right now. Oh my goodness, this looks yummy. Here we go. I just want to show you, I'm going to put it on an extra minute just in case the battery life goes out. But look at that. Does that not look absolutely yummy? Oh my goodness. It is absolutely yummy. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to put an extra minute on it because I want the pizza crust really cooked. But I wanted to show you the pizza before the battery life goes out. So we will see if we have enough time for the battery life. Hopefully, you'll be able to try this in the next couple of weeks and let me know what you think. And if you've never had blue cheese, oh my goodness, you will absolutely love it. I will tell you the blue cheese that I actually use. I am very particular about my cheeses. And I've tried many blue cheeses. This is actually, oh my goodness, no wonder I like it. It's Wisconsin blue cheese. It's made by Crystal Farms. Wisconsin blue cheese made by Crystal Farms. I am like a blue cheese fanatic. I've tried many blue cheeses. Some are too tart. Some are too potent. And I know some are not strong enough. So this Crystal Farms has the exact amount of blue cheese taste that I want. And what's awesome is this is cheaper, $1 cheaper than the other blue cheeses in the store. How good is that, right? So let's look. We got 3 more minutes, and hopefully we will have enough battery life. And you will be able to see this pizza. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to clear this area so hopefully you can see this pizza. And again, when I plate this later on, because I'm not going to eat for a while, I'm just going to warm it up. But when I plate this later on, I'm going to plate it with a side of tomatoes. In fact, what I might do now is I'll go ahead and, I'll go ahead and get it out because I'm going to actually put it back in the oven later just to warm it up. So here is the pizza. Here it is. And I'm going to take it out of this pan just so you will know how it looks like. The good thing about parchment paper is you can pick it up. But here, look at that. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see that. Let me know if you can see that. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can do this without dropping it. But here is this amazing Fathead blue cheese sauce, pepperoni, mushroom, bacon pizza with a side of tomatoes. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time cooking keto with Kirby-Gatto. Goodbye.